for Australia in white, gate 2. Paul Hurry it is, his first race here at Ipswich this year from gate 3 for Great Britain. On the outside, Ron Sullivan, twice Australian under-21 champion. A cracking heat in prospect here. Up fly the tapes, a fly for Mark Ram on the inside. Coming across, Ron Sullivan from the outside going wide, but the Australian pair in second and third place. Disappointment for Paul Hurry at the back, but Ram in pole position in front of the two Aussies as it opens out.
Yeah, unusual for Mark Ram to make a good start in Heat 1. Bit of smoke from his bike there, but he's riding really well. He's got a good line, he's got a good lead now. It's very difficult to pass Mark when he's in front, and he's just pulling away from the Aussies.
Paul Hurry at the back in blue, trying to make ground, but Mark Ram out front, pretty much just over the halfway stage, having it his own way. The Aussies packing in, Hurry with work to do. Ron Sullivan, it is the onboard camera there with Mark Ram as we look there towards the blue skies of East Anglia tonight as Mark goes into his final lap but extends his lead into that top end by about 15 metres now from the Australian pair. The heat set for a 3-all. Mark Ram in the red helmet colour looking to take the checkered flag. There's the Australian pair in second and third place. Second place in yellow goes to Ron Sullivan. Third in white to Lee Adams. Mark Ram the winner in red. 3 points apiece the heat score. With one heat gone, it's all level in this Ashes Test match. And the world champion, Mark Ram, showing the qualities we saw him throughout. Shane Parker goes in white for Australia. Gary Havelock, the 92 world champion for Great Britain, goes gate 2. Gate 3, Steve Johnston, the second reserve for Australia. And on the outside, young David Howe. A special occasion for Shane Parker. He gets Starling Marshall there. John Fitch will watch away. The tapes fly up, a little bit of rearing there from Gary Havelock, who's then left us. Picking it up into the bend is Steve Johnston, the in-form Australian. Australia 1 and 2 here with Shane Parker in second place. But we've got a problem here. The red lights are on and the heat has been stopped by our referee tonight, Paul Carrington, from just down the road at Colchester. And we'll find out exactly what caused that. But clearly the referee not happy with the starting situation there. For the restart now, let's see if it's any better. But Steve Johnson once again, Australians 1 and 2 here. They lock up a little bit there. Gary Havelock's in third place in red, David Howe at the back, but leading away is Steve Johnson. He's on a flyer at the moment, the young man from Kalgoorlie in Western Australia, with 1 lap gone, away down this home straight, pursued by his teammate Shane Parker. And for Australia, this is wonderful. For Great Britain, not so good.
Yeah, not good for Great Britain, this one. Steve Johnson, he really goes well round this track here. He did ride for these a few years ago, but Shane Parker tucked in behind him. Could be a 5-1 here for the Australians.
Well, Steve Johnson with 26 points from his last 10 rides in the Elite League. We can see why he's on form here, ahead of Shane Parker, whose second wedding takes place tomorrow with a lap to go. This is going to be 5-1 to the Aussies, and this will set them up with a 4-point lead going into heat number 3, because the man in the yellow helmet colour, remember the Aussies in yellow and white, the British team in red and blue. But there we are, and look at that on the line, because coming through, Gary Havelock grabs second place there, just ahead of the man in white, Shane Parker. Gary Havelock snatched that to make it a 4-2 to Australia, and I wonder what Shane Parker was doing there, because Gary Havelock, I'm sure, on... See it across the line there, Peter?
Yeah, you can see that Gary Havelock had a real good run there on the last turn. Looked very, very close. He made a very good last turn just at the pits gate there, just to grab that.
Inside for Great Britain, Carl Stonehewer goes in the blue helmet colours. Gate 2 is Craig Boyce, the Aussie captain, in white. Gate 3, the Great Britain captain, Chris Louis, goes in red. And on the outside, it's Todd Wiltshire, the 1999 Australian champion, who races, of course, in the British Elite League for Oxford. This one, too, will be timed, Peter. Is John Fitch. He's a busy man trying to get them into line as Chris Louis pulls back, the 31-year-old Great Britain captain and, of course, Grand Prix rider. Now they're settled. Paul Carrington, the referee, finger on the button. Up by the tapes and away from the outside. A tremendous start from Todd Wiltshire. But look at his teammate Craig Boyce coming through. And now work to do for Stonehewer. And Chris Louis coming through, stuck in last place on the bend. Now comes through to third. Now has work to do, leaving Todd Wiltshire, who's gone from first to last. I'm not quite sure what happened to the lad from Sydney there, but now out front, fellow Sydney-sider, Craig Boyce, and Carl Stonehewer locked up there. It's all systems go here, Peter.
Yeah, Carl was having a real good go to go around the outside of Craig Boyce, got too much grip, ran out of track, went out in front there. Like we said, Craig Boyce is turning out to be such a fantastic rider here at this Ipswich circuit.
Having a tremendous season since he came down here to Vauxhall Heath to start the season in March from Kings Lynn. With a lap to go, Great Voice is stretching that lead ahead of Chris Louis, the Great Britain captain, in second place. And now problems at the back here. Stonehill are having problems. Challenge been put up by Wiltshire. Stonehill at the moment holding that third place. The checkered flag though taken by Great Voice. Ahead of in second place Chris Louis in red. Third place in blue goes to Carl Stonehill. A share of the points of Australia 3, Great Britain 3, which makes it Great Britain 8, Australia 10 with 3 heats gone. And
the rider in white there, Craig Boyce, just look at that. He gets to the first corner there, runs into his teammate there, Todd Wiltshire, as they enter the first turn. Todd Wiltshire gets pushed very, very wide. Now just look at Stonehill in the blue, nip through on the inside there of Todd Wiltshire into second place. Chris Louis there comes up on the inside also of Wiltshire. Now Carl Stonehill here now has a really big attempt to get by Craig Boyce. He keeps trying the outside run. There's a lot of grip, a lot of loose dirt out wide, but Stoney just manages to catch up there on Todd Wiltshire after he had that bad first turn on the pit bend and lose that place, and he managed to get back on Todd Wiltshire and hang on to that third place.
Wow, Craig Boyce went mighty fast.
I know this is an international, but you've been riding so well here. You really like this track.
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's a good track. It's a nice bit of dirt on it tonight, which suits me, and nice grippy start. So, see how we go.
What'd you think of the first corner? You kind of got in there, and your partner Todd made a good one from the outside, and you guys kind of just touched a little bit, and he went a little wide.
Yeah, I lifted a bit out the start, then I got to the corner, and Todd came across in front of me, and I guess he thought he made a better one, but yeah, we clashed going in the turn, and well, that's racing.
That's it. Well, good job anyway. Get you guys going now. Get back in there, I guess, and figure it out. I mean, you got to make the starts. How's the track looking? A little bit
Track's a bit patchy, you know. There's a few berms and stuff, but that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Track's pretty good.
Good stuff.
Are you going to make any changes?
Might flatten her off a bit for a bit more grip, I think, and see how we go, but it's pretty good so far.
Early days, we'll let you get back to the pits. Thanks,
See you,
Craig. So then, now coming out of the pits, get ready for the next one.
International debut there in the blue helmet colours is David Howe. Next to him for Australia, Steve Johnson in yellow. And Steve Johnson, of course, winner of the reserve heat number 2. Gate 3 is Scott Nicholls. We've heard a lot about him. He's on fire at the moment, the 23-year-old wild card, certainly at the Millennium Stadium, where he should provide a few.
For that win for Ipswich and Poole.
Away they fly. The takes again hesitate to go up. A real fly for Jason Crump there now in second place in yellow, Steve Johnson. But look at Scott Nicholls. He's coming round the outside. He goes past Johnson as if he's standing still. Takes it wide. Will pick up the grip. Johnson comes back inside him. A tremendous battle in second place. But wheel perfect Jason Crump out front. The Aussies in charge here. And Nicholls and his colleague David Howe have work to do, Peter.
Yeah, the Australians seem much more focused here, although Johnson's really missed that corner, allowed Scott Nicholls to come under him. Johnson's got a load of grip, gone first, second to fourth there.
All problems for Steve Johnson there. He's all over the track at the back, and now the Brits have moved into second and third place behind the flying Jason Crump out front. And with a lap to go, this one looks too set for a 3-all because Jason Crump is looking absolutely brilliant. Many people's tip for a world title even this year. And here, well, he's doing it for his country, Australia. He now lives in Queensland. He was born in Bristol, but here he takes the checkered flag ahead of the British pair, Scott Nicholls in red and David Howe in blue, which is another 3-all for the second successive heat and the third of 4 heats. All have finished 3-all. It's Great Britain 11, Australia 13 with 4.
Australia, but Scott Nicholls goes very wide. Johnson comes through. Looks like they're on this 5-1. Now Scott Nicholls never gives up. He's trying so hard. Now Steve Johnson there just is hanging on to that second place. Then into the pits turn. Johnson just gets too much grip there, makes a big mess of that corner, takes 2 shunts on that corner and allows Scott Nicholls to dive through on the inside for the second place, and also David Howe followed him through.
Goes from the inside in yellow. Gate 2 is the British captain Chris Louis in red. Gate 3, Lee Adams, top rider in the Elite League now for Australia in white, riding for Oxford this year. And on the outside, Carl Stonehill, of course, the current Premier League champion from Workington and the only Premier League rider to have ridden in the Grand Prix series. That's the lineup now, this heat number 5. This this one. Louis, Stonehewer, Adams and Sullivan. The Aussies in the white and yellow, and the man in yellow runs. Sullivan left at the tape, but a flyer from Lee Adams in white. Round the outside goes Stonehewer, goes round, and Stonehewer comes by Lee Adams as if he's standing still. An absolutely magnificent ride there, but Adams comes back inside him to use his experience. A battle royal out front. Adams in white, Stonehewer in blue, coming through there now. And look at Chris Louis in red. He's got a challenge at the back. It's Ron Sullivan, but Adams showed his track craft there, Peter.
Yeah, Carl Stonehewer's all over the back of Lee Adams there. He's not going to give up. He's trying again on the outside run. Just getting that grip there, Carl. We can see he might just have enough to sneak down the outside, but Lee Adams closes the gap on him again, Tony.
Interesting down that back straight as Lee Adams shut the gate between him and the fence, and Stonehewer couldn't get through. And with a lap to go, Lee Adams from Australia out front in second place in blue. Carl Stonehewer, the Workington rider for Great Britain, back in third place. The home captain, Chris Louis. Tailed off at the rear now is Ron Sullivan. This is going to be another 3-all here because it's won by Lee Adams in front of Carl Stonehewer in blue with Chris Louis in red. 3 points apiece for the fourth heat running, and it's now Great Britain 14, Australia 16, with 5 heats gone.
Start, but Lee Adams is having a nice ride round the inside, but there Carl's just kept it all on down the outside and just had enough speed to go round the outside there of Lee Adams. But Lee does a real good manoeuvre, real low down the bottom end there, right down on the inside. Scares Carl. I think Carl didn't realise he was just at that position, but Carl tucks in, does really well to chase him, and really Carl chased hard all the way, but Adams went on to win.
Pretty good start, but probably didn't commit myself on the first turn and get in the dirt, and Stoney got a great run around the first turn, but you know, up on the fourth bend coming off, there's a bit of grip on the inside, and I managed to catch that and go by him. It was pretty clear sailing from there, so it's pretty good.
You had to battle with that top guy from the Premier League, didn't you? I mean, he was really showing you some colors. Were you kind of like blocking him at the end there after you settled and got in front of him, or? Well,
I think I probably could have, you know, I think you got to commit yourself now and get in the dirt. You know, it was sort of 2 lines before. You could run around the inside and be fairly fast, but it's just a little bit slick on this first and second coming off. So
what are you going to be telling your boys when you get back into the camp there?
Well, I think you just got to run wide now. You know, just get in the dirt and just chase it. You know, get in it.
Yeah. Will it change over the night, do you think, this conditions?
I think we'll get very slick on the inside, and you know, I think the boys that want to be in it will be winning, I guess.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's you know, obviously we're pretty pumped up. We failed really badly at the World Team Cup last year. You know, I think we were probably favourites, and I think we ran last, so we were pretty disappointed about that, and we want to make amends.
All right, we'll let you get back and talk to the boys as you said you would, so we'll let you get back. Thanks, well done.
See you later.
Again to Lee Adams.
He's one of them. Gate 2 for Australia. Jason Crump in the white helmet colour. Mark Laram, the world champion for Great Britain, goes in red, gate 3. But on the outside is Shane Parker, a third place in his opening ride. Shane Parker, that in heat number 2. Laram and Crump, a match race, is it, Peter?
It looks like it.
We're up now to heat number 6. Great promising race and a real fly for Mark Laram. Laram and Crump. Crump goes by. Mark Laram is taken wide. Laram's now locked up on the fence, but now will come through into second place in front of Paul Hurry. Crump again out front as he was before, and now Laram has the chasing to do. 2 of the world's top riders, and they've got to contest this. Tail off at the back. Well, real disappointment for Shane Parker in this one, but look at the lineup here. Crump and Laram, it's a battle between the 2.
Yeah, this circuit should really suit Mark Laram, all that dirt that's out there. Mark likes the dirt, but Jason Crump is looking oh so fast out in front there, riding just in the middle of the circuit, just on the edge of the grip, and pulling away from the world champion.
With a lap and a quarter to go, I don't think Mark Laram is going to catch him in this one. Crump's got time to look back. He then gets back over his machine, concentrate, takes it down to bends 1 and 2, down the back straight, some 20 metres between him and Mark Laram. And well, this is going to be a notch on the rung for Jason Crump in white, who takes that ahead of Mark Laram in red. Third place in blue goes to Paul Hurry. Yet another share of the points at 3 points apiece to make it Great Britain 17, Australia 19 now with 6 heats gone. No question about the quality of Jason Crump. Mark Laram made it for the tapes, but Crumpy kept it down, and by the time they got to the first bend, he was in front.
Felt pretty good, you know. Last week or so I started to run into a decent bit of form, and I need it because we're going to Cardiff in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we thought that might be on your mind.
Yeah, what Tony was saying in the commentary box there, how important it was for whether Mark got one on you or you got one on him, but it's probably basically just to settle down your form.
Yeah, well, you know, as I said, Sam, it hasn't been going that well, and first Grand Prix was a disaster. and you know what it's like. You always like to put one over the top guys if you can, and that's one to me, but I'm sure Mark will kick my butt later on.
What about tonight? I mean, 5 out of 6 wins and you're still only 2 points ahead.
Yeah, that shows that England are a bit more solid, I guess, from 1 to 7 at the moment, but you know, we've only done 6 races, so let's wait and see what it's like at the end of the night.
How about the conditions?
Conditions are, considering how hot it's been, the track's pretty good. They watered it very evenly, and when the sun's shining like it was today, they've done a good job, and I wouldn't criticise the track at all.
All right, we'll let you get back to the pits as we get back with the action. With
The Australian captain goes in white. It's Ipswich teammate Scott Nicholls, a wild card in the Millennium, at the Millennium for the British Grand Prix in 10 days' time, or 4 nights' time rather. He goes in gate 2 in red. On gate 3, it's Todd Wiltshire, second Sydney sider, alongside Boyce in this one, and Gary Havelock. Nichols in red is next to him. Havelock for Great Britain on the outside. Gate 3 is Todd Wiltshire. Havelock picks it up. Can he do a gallop? No, he goes wide and loses it. And coming round the outside in yellow is Todd Wiltshire, who came from 3rd place to 1st to totally eclipse Scott Nicholls in red. Boyce is back in 3rd place. And this, well, they've really put the balls in the hat here and thrown them out on the track.
Yeah, Scott Nicholls is a real racer. We've got Craig Boyce out in front, but Scotty there, got all that grip up the inside, shuts the gate on Todd Wiltshire and goes through into the lead.
What a fine ride for the young Englishman, a wild card, of course he is at Cardiff, half the lap gone on his home track. He lives just a mile from the track, Scott Nicholls. The fans here are well and truly behind the young Englishman here now, but down at the back has gone his teammate Gary Havelock, and the referee's letting the race go at the moment. Havelock's picked his machine up, and they're on the last lap. I think the referee will award this red, yellow, white, it would seem, as he stopped the race. We'll have to wait and see for that, but that would be another 3-all scoreline, because they were on the last lap when he awarded it, and certainly it would benefit Scott Nicholls. He won't want that re-race without Havelock, I'm sure. And it has been awarded by the referee to Scott Nicholls in red, second place to Todd Wiltshire in yellow, third to Craig Boyce in the white helmet colours. Yet another 3-all. It's Great Britain 20, Australia 22.
Watch the manoeuvre here, the rider in red, Scott Nicholls, right round that inside, stops Boyce in his tracks, but doesn't do enough to catch Todd Wiltshire. Todd just has enough speed to stay ahead into the pit turn. Again, look at Scott Nicholls now, hugging that inside, comes right down the inside there, chasing Todd Wiltshire. Now this manoeuvre again, identical to what he did on the earlier lap with Craig Boyce, right round the inside, gets the grip, gets the wheels in line early, and just closes that door on Todd Wiltshire. And from here on in, really, Scotty was in complete control. Here's that drive down the back straight, and Todd really was a little bit wide there, didn't cover that inside line, and Scott Nicholls' his home track knowledge really showed in this one. This manoeuvre here again on the overtake with Todd Wiltshire, brilliant from Scott Nicholls. Watch when he gets the bike really in line early, front wheels lift just as they catch that grip, and Scott just carried on to the win. But Gary Havelock in the blue there, right at the back, lifts, runs off into the kick.
Track sort of evened up a little bit now. It's a bit sort of patchy early on, some ruts and that, but starting to sort of settle itself down a bit now, and it's getting a bit easier to ride.
And we're going to understand now why you're going to be at the Millennium Stadium in that wild card. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's sort of nice. I didn't know, obviously, it's going to be between sort of 3 of us, and obviously it's nice to get the nod to go into it. And obviously, I've got nothing to lose from it. You know, I've got everything to gain. All the other riders are in there battling for GP points. I'm just going out there to try and do myself a bit of justice, and hopefully I can do that.
It's a good way of looking at it.
Right at the moment, though, Scott, you are really on form, aren't you? You're really clicking up some big numbers everywhere you're riding, so it's kind of probably the right time to be peaking, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you don't know what it is, just you have those patches where things seem to be working right for you, and I just seem to be in one of those at the minute. Things seem to be getting at the start, and bikes seem to be working good, and I seem to be happy on it. So got to just try and reap the benefits and make the most of it while it's like that, because chances are it ain't going to last the whole season.
What's the feeling back in the pits? Because it's very close at the moment. It could go either way. It's now a case of spirit. What's it like down there?
That's it. You know, we're all sort of gelling together, but obviously it's, you know, it's tough. Obviously he's got an unbelievable side. You know, got 7 heat leaders really. Obviously without Joe, it's a shame, and if he's watching, I wish him well and hope he's on the mend soon, but that's a big blow for us. You know, Joe always goes good around here as well, so we're up against it, but like, you know, we're all mucking in and sticking together, and hopefully if we can keep sort of, you know, getting the draws in the heats, then hopefully we'll pick off a couple of heat wins and pick off a win.
All right, we'll let you get back and sort yourself out, and well done again. Great stuff by Scotty Nicholls.
Yellow for Australia. Gate 2, the inexperienced David Howe for Great Britain in blue. Ron Sullivan, the Peterborough captain for Australia, goes in white, Gate 3. And on the outside is Paul Hurry in a red. Paul Hurry just a third place of his 2 rides so far. Steve Johnson providing a heat winner. David Howe so far just 1 point from his 2 rides. And, well, in between them, Ron Sullivan, second place and a last place. So 22 points to 20 as we come up to Heat 8 now. Darling Marshall walks away up by the tapes and away they go in white. Ron Sullivan to the apex of the bend. Round the outside in red goes Paul Hurry chasing him. Hurry comes through and Hurry can't quite catch him there, but in white Ron Sullivan holds on. Hurry is pushing him wide. In yellow Steve Johnson is coming through. Disappointment for David Howe at the back. But a fine ride by Ron Sullivan out front, but he's being chased all the way by Paul Hurry.
Yeah, you can't say Paul Hurry isn't trying here. He's really having to go. Certainly on that first lap with Ryan Sullivan, he got very, very close down the bottom turn. There seems to be a bit of gap now developed between Sullivan and Hurry, but it's certainly not all over.
If it stays like this, the Aussies will open up a 4-point gap in front in this test match with 8 heats gone and 7 to go. Going into the final lap now in the white helmet colours, Ron Sullivan stretching his lead ahead of Paul Hurry. Back in third place, Steve Johnson from Kalgoorlie. He's been put under pressure by David Howe, but Howe's lost it there now, and it'll be a miracle if Howe can go by Jono here, because the checkered flag is going to be taken there in white by Ron Sullivan. Second place in red goes to Paul Hurry. Third to Steve Johnson, the single point there, which means the Aussies take the heat by 4 points to 2. It's now Great Britain 24, Australia 26 with 8 heats gone. Australia on the inside in white. Stonehill, as we saw, goes in blue for Great Britain. Gate 3, Shane Parker for Australia, and on the outside, Chris Louis, the Ipswich captain on his home track. And of course, the Great Britain captain here too is Chris Louis, the 31-year-old on his home track, and he seems to have been here almost since this track started 50 years ago. They got a big battle on. Paul Carrington, the referee, looking down. Now Charlie Marshall moves away and up they fly, and it's dead level now, but the man in red there, it's Chris Louis, round the outside, but on the inside in white, Jason Crump again. His fellow Australian Shane Parker picks it up now in the yellow helmet colour on the outside, relegating the British pair of Louis and Stonehill to third and fourth, and that's not what the Brits want, because if it stays like this, they'll have a chance for tactical substitutions, because they will be 4 points behind. They'll be 8 down if it stays like this, Peter.
Yeah, this is a good team ride here from Jason Crump. He's the quickest man out there, but he allowed his teammate Shane Parker to come round the outside of him. Now Jason's covering the inside, and Shane's now pulling away on the outside. Excellent team riding here from the Aussie pair.
I'm surprised at the relative eclipse here of Chris Louis, because he is back in third place. That doesn't often happen to him here on his home track at Ipswich. But certainly Shane Parker, who you heard from Sam earlier, an experienced rider on this track for when he used to ride for Ipswich. And now he and Jason Crump are going to have this very much as they please to produce the first 5-1 of the night. And that goes to Australia. In yellow, Shane Parker. Second, Jason Crump in white. Chris Louis for Great Britain in red. The first 5-1 of the night going the way of the Australians, and it's now 25 to Great Britain, 31 to Australia. Slight error perhaps in my mathematics there, but well, 31-25 is what it looks like to me. 31-23 probably, and that means that the Australians, or the English team now, will have a chance for tactical substitute. But celebrations from Shane Parker.
First two, I dropped me clutch and wasn't going anywhere, but changed me clutch in that one. Clutch springs the whole setup, and she was bang from the start, and had to race Chris into the first corner, but we managed to pull off a 5-1.
Your old Jason Crump did a good job of making sure he stayed down low for you, didn't he?
He did, exactly. I knew he was there, and I had to look back once, but I just sort of stayed on the edge of the dirt and tried to get an easy ride. It's a little bit unpredictable out there at the moment.
Yeah, that's what all the boys are saying, but it was a stout ride though, Shane.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, I needed a good ride. I sort of first two I was a bit disappointed with, and I've been given the opportunity tonight, and I'm going to make the most of it.
Fair to say, we're all talking about the World Cup. You're one man who desperately wants into that World Cup side, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, we've got to put our best side forward. Winning's everything, you know, so if I don't make it, there's always next year.
That's true, but you'd like to do it this year, though,
well,
wouldn't you?
I would. I mean, I'm working on the World Championship rounds this year, and to get in the World Team Cup would be a good honour.
Tails are up for Aussie at the moment. We'll let you get back and talk to the boys. Thanks a lot.
Speedway World Cup. This is Heat 10, though, here in this test match. On the inside, Todd Wiltshire, yellow. Gate 2 for Britain, Paul Hurry, blue. Gate 3, Craig Boyce, the Aussie captain, in white. On the outside, world champion Mark Laram goes for Britain in red. This promises to be a battle between Laram and Boyce, Peter. Who's going to come out on top?
Yeah, Mark Laram is on the outside.
The game, do we say here. Starting Marshall moves away again, up by the tapes. Mark doesn't make it. Craig Boyce does. Boyce is there first. Mark Laram goes round the outside in red. The chase is on. Mark followed by Paul Hurry. Todd Wiltshire splitting the pair of them. Now Mark Laram has to chase Craig Boyce, but Boyce is on form here at Vauxhall Heath this year, and he certainly looks on form in this one. Real work for Mark Laram to do. Can he pick it up? He's trying.
Yeah, he's trying. He seems to be catching now. He's going to have a go down the bottom turn there. He's got to go wide where the grip is, but Craig Boyce is going real steady. He's not making a mistake yet, but he's got a tiger on his tail.
He really has there. Mark Laram will now pick it up and have a go. Are we going to see typical Mark Laram? This could be the race of the night. Laram's trying the outside. He's picking it up. He's picking up speed. He's going round, and he's done it. A tremendous ride. We've seen him do it so often. What an entertainer this man is, Mark Laram. And he's done it once again. And he should go on now to complete his second heat victory of the night with the checkered flag beckoning. Mark Laram in red. Ahead of in white, Craig Boyce. Third in yellow is Todd Wiltshire. Disappointment for Paul Hurry, but a 3-all once again here. And now, well, I wonder if Mark Laram will be used as a tactical substitute, because it's now Great Britain.
You did it just as the way you do it, real stuff.
Yeah, I'm lifting off the start a bit today, you know. I'm not missing them, but I'm not getting as good a start as what I really need. But yeah, it was good, you know. It's nice to come from behind now and again, but I'd rather do it, you know, from the front.
Well, let's take a look at it, because we can see you here, and maybe from your point of view, tell us about it.
Well, I was angry because I missed the start, so straight away I'm going into one a bit, and good bit of dirt around the outside there, and just luckily I got my wheels in line and just caught him a little bit unawares, luckily.
Yeah, you're picking on somebody else instead of me, aren't you?
No, about that, you're giving me a hard time. No, it was, like I say, it's just get my wheels in the dirt, now it's out there, it was very good, but like I say, I was just a bit lucky that he chose to ride the inside and left me a clear track.
Now then, your form right now, I'm sure Neil Middleditch has probably got you lined up to do a tactical replacement here.
Yeah, I think I'm in the next race.
Oh yeah, they're just telling me you are in blue next heat, so
right.
Same form, going to go for it, going to keep the front end down now.
Make a start on this one, yeah.
Right on.
Best of British see you. We'll let you get back. You've got to get going to that.
If I can explain the situation with regard to the tactical substitute, Mark Laram has come in because you're allowed to use one rider in that capacity if you are sick.
Biggest pair here, Laram and Nichols.
There they go, and Mark Laram makes it from the gate. That's a bit unusual. He's there to the apex. Nichols is with him. Can we get team riding? Chasing him in white is Lee Adams, but it's Britain 1 and 2. We could have a real meeting on our hands now here. Mark Laram, tremendous style round the outside. Nichols is with him, and Adams will need all his track craft to get by these two now. At the back it's Ron Sullivan, but the best possible start for the Brits in this one.
Yeah, this is what Great Britain need now more than anything. If they can hold on to this 5-1, it's going to really put them back in the match. Lee Adams now back in third place. Ryan Sullivan at the back, looking also round here to these two, Nichols and Laram.
Well, our team manager Neil Middleditch has made his first decision as England team manager, and it looks like being rewarded with a vengeance in this one with a lap to go. Mark Laram set for his third heat victory of the night as Britain's top rider, the top rider in the world going into this year. Can he do it again down at the Millennium Stadium? He's going to do it here at Vauxhall Stadium. Heat number 11, and it's 1 and 2. Laram in blue, Scott Nichols in red. Third place in white is Lee Adams. And that is the first heat advantage of the night to the British team. They've taken that by 5 points to 1. It's now Britain 31, Australia 30.
But, you know, I can't complain really. It was a lot better than the last one.
Can I say I focused on you and your stance when you got on that? You wanted that. You said, I'm going to hold this sucker down. You still lifted, but you were on it, weren't you?
Yeah, I see. The difference is when you lift and you can just struggle your way there, that's good enough. But it's when you lift and people pull a bike length on you, that's a problem.
Great first corner, and Scott, you've done a great job holding down the bottom side of the bottom line.
Yeah, me and Ryan got a bit close, sort of level, you know, and I knew if I could stick to the inside, there's a little bit of grip to get round. I see Mark had made it around the outside, so it just worked good. I just sat on the inside, and I think Lee was buzzing around the inside of me, but I just had the legs to hold on.
Let's take a look at the start, and maybe you guys can tell us about it, because... go ahead, Mark.
There we go, wheel in the air as usual. No, I just squeezed in there. Luckily, Ryan... I had my handlebars over Ryan and just took that nice line, looked over my shoulder. I was lifting a bit there, going out towards the fence. I had to throw the old left leg out a bit. And
how was it for you?
Yeah, so I'd say, you know, me and Ryan were sort of pretty level, and I just managed to stick to the inside. I could see Mark was getting grip on the outside and just held on. You know, we're there, he's on the outside, I'm on the inside, and it seemed to work good.
This is Lee Adams on board here. That's what he was seeing from his point of view.
Yeah, so yeah.
Leg.
There comes Scott.
Hello.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's good. Those guys behind you.
Hey, Mark, quick question for you. This man's going to be at the Millennium Stadium. You've got your work cut out, but there's another one coming.
Absolutely. I mean, Scott's, you know, he's my tip for the future. You know, he's a real charger and he rides like me, he never gives up, and it's going to be, it'd be nice to retire in a few years and then wish him well, but until then I hope he slows down a bit.
All right, fair enough. We've got another heat coming up. We'll get back to
Parker, of course, did so well in his last ride to win the heat. Good team riding in that one for Australia. Gary Havelock back in contention here. Just checking, that is Gary Havelock in blue, and on the outside in white is Craig Boyce. Yes, it's Gary Havelock has taken the place of David Howe as a reserve replacement there, and I wonder if that could be another fine move pair. Chris Louis and Gary Havelock. Our Starling Marshall moves away they fly. Chris Louis got it on the inside. Chris Louis has it there, but Gary Havelock's at the back, and now Louis has been tracked by Craig Boyce coming through, and Boyce produces the goods yet again. What a ride he is these days at Vauxhall Heath, and Chris Louis will have to battle. Gary Havelock's at the back. Shane Parker's in third place, and this is not going quite the way the Brits hope.
No, I was thinking that Chris Louis certainly due a heat win, and I think he's just got his wheel on some grip there and gone right on the inside there of Craig Boyce. A fabulous manoeuvre there from Chris Louis.
Boyce coming back now on the inside. It's a ding-dong battle between these two, but if Chris Louis can hold this, Britain hopes are still pretty much alive. If he surrenders a heat advantage here to the Australians, well, then it could be plain sailing for them. But the meeting has come alive these last couple of heats or so now. And Chris Louis on his home track, the Great Britain captain, riding with style, riding with flair, and riding with speed down that back straight. Chris Louis in red. At the back, look, Gary Havelock, the reserve replacement, looks tailed off, but Chris Louis takes the checkered flag. Ahead of in white, Craig Boyce. In third place in yellow is Shane Parker. That's another 3-all in that one here to make it 34 to Great Britain, 38 to Australia. And with 3 heats to go, it's still very much alive if England could produce the good.
But just watch Craig Boyce here. Craig chops back. Chris has gone just too wide on that first turn, allowed Craig Boyce to slip through on the inside. But full credit to Chris here, because he never gave up. He just kept plugging away. In the end, he managed to get by Craig Boyce. But on the first turn, Chris Louis leading. Now just watch this point of the circuit. He catches too much grip in the wrong place and runs right off the racing line, which allows Craig Boyce to come through. But Chris Louis now is in pursuit of Craig Boyce, and this is the manoeuvre here. Just look at Chris. He stops the bike turning, pulls the wheel back in tight, just has enough drive to gain that yard and go past.
A popular.
You did a big one tonight.
We did, yeah. You know, we're only 4 down, so we're still plugging away, and we've still got a good chance. You know, we'll battle. It's always hard racing one of your teammates on your home track, because you know that they know the track. You know, it's kind of like double bluff as to where to ride. But no, it was a good race.
I was watching you earlier in the first race. I seen you kind of team riding your guy. Wasn't really going forward that much, and then I seen you struggling a bit. Has there been a problem with you?
Not really. The track's a little bit slicker than normal. You know, it's week on. It's prepared for us at Ipswich, and today I think they tried to prepare a neutral track. It's a good racetrack, but it caught me out a little bit. But we seem to have found the setup now.
I'm here next week, so I ain't gonna know this. You see,
doing some spying.
Yeah, well, that's
next heat's pretty hot though too.
Yeah, every heat's tough, you know. I mean, we normally look at heat 13, heat 15 in the league matches, but...
Are you a betting man?
Yeah, we're going to win.
Well, okay. Well, let's have a look at the betting. I'll tell you what. Let's see. Now, when you see the betting like this, do you think what we got here? We got 2-1 on Martha Ram, 5-1 Scott Nichols, 9-4 Lee Adams, Jason Crump. Where would you put it then?
5-1 to England.
Okay.
Mark,
fighting talk.
Scotty covering him.
Fair enough. Now, well, they've done it before. There's no reason why they wouldn't do it again. We'll let you get back and watch it and enjoy it. Thanks, Chris.
White in gate 2, it's Mark Laram in red. Gate 3 for Australia in yellow, Jason Crump on the outside in blue, Scott Nichols for Great Britain. So far tonight, well, Jason Crump is the only rider unbeaten by an opponent. Nichols. Well, heat 15 might be a bit like this, but I think Chris Louis will be that. Away they go in yellow. Jason Crump picks it up yet again. Work to do for Laram, because he's coming through now. Round the outside goes Scott Nichols in blue. Laram and Nichols packing in. Nichols second, Laram third. But Crump, almost makes a mistake there. But in yellow now, stretches his lead with a lap and a quarter gone. And they've got work to do to close the gap on the speedy Jason Crump.
Yeah, I must say, Tony, that Jason Crump really seems to be in a class of his own tonight. riding brilliantly. He's not yet been headed by one of the Great Britain riders, and the way he's going by our best two here, unbelievable.
Red hot form, they say, for Jason Crump. 3 successive home maxima for his team, Kings Lynn. Remember, we're there next week, but the battle at the back is still enjoyable here. This looks like being a sprint of the points, but look at the Aussie in white there. Lee Adams is trying to put pressure on Mark Laram. Scott Nichols is ahead of Laram. The Ram is having problems. He's not as fast as he was here, certainly, in this one, but Jason Crump out front certainly is, and Jason Crump in the yellow helmet colour takes the checkered flag with some comfort ahead of Scott Nichols in blue. Well, the referee will have to judge that final place between Lee Adams and Mark Laram. I wonder if Mark Laram just got it. We'll have to see here as we come up there. The rider in blue, that's the first two past the tapes. As we come to the line there, well, it looks to me the rider in white there, Lee Adams, has got it ahead of Mark Laram, which is desperate disappointment for Great Britain, because Mark Laram
just thrown Scott out in this race as a tactical, so I guess Todd and Parker, I think, so they need to get their act together and try and keep it level, keep us a couple up going into the last heat.
Don't tell us about this. It's not going to be the same in the cricket, is it?
I hope so.
What about your team tonight? It's looking good, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we've done okay, and Boise's done really well because he's riding here this year. Yeah, very well, and I'm having a good night. But we're possibly lacking a bit of backup from below. Shane Parker and I got a 5-1 in that race, and I guess that's probably about one of the few 5-1s we've got tonight. And really, I thought we would have had a few more.
Yeah, it's tough hands though. I mean, Great Britain's got a pretty big field of riders to choose from, and they put together a field and they're pushing you guys, but you guys got the upper edge. I kind of called Great Britain to win it overall, but
wrong, I hope.
There you go.
You got to take on Poland in the World Cup and in Poland, so you guys are looking ahead to that. So I guess that's why you're in your mind thinking about your overall team and the strength you've got. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like Sam said, England have got a good base group of riders to choose from. I mean, Mark Loram he rode here for years. Chris still rides here. Scott rides here. Paul Hurry's a small track expert. He's ridden at Eastbourne and Wolverhampton and Oxford and different places. And Gary Havelock's a former world champion. So I mean, they've got a good base. They've got a great base to work from. And I mean, I think we've done well to be in front at this stage. Lee possibly would have liked to have done better himself. I know Todd definitely would have. So.
Well, we just got a report that they got Scott Nichols and Chris Louis in the next one, so it's going to be tough. What do you think?
I wish I could go out and race against him.
Yeah, you get to be headed. You're having a great night, though. You must be really looking forward now to the British Grand Prix, which, of course, you've won twice.
Yeah, and I'd like to make it 3, because I didn't start off very well in Berlin. So, yeah, and last year I didn't start off very well and came back and won the Swedish one. So, maybe.
And had a battle all the way to the end.
Had to battle all the way to the end.
If you could win it, it'll be pretty special. I mean, your wins at Brandon was special, but Millennium Stadium.
Man, I watched the FA Cup final down there, and I thought if the buzz Michael Owen must have got when he scored those goals. Yeah. I mean, the guy who stands on top of the rostrum that night with that stadium full is going to remember that forever.
That's what about a head over heels? He did a complete somersault. Can you do that?
I don't think so.
At least not intentionally.
Not intentionally. All right, we'll let you get back because the action's going to get pretty furious now, I would have thought. Do you think the tactical substitutions they made have been quite interesting to you now you've heard that news?
Yeah, well, I heard Scott was going out before I came up here, and then I guess they've decided they're going to stick Chris out as well. So, I mean, what do you say? These guys ride here every week.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's a tough call for Todd and Parks to go out and try and do this. But
Todd's making good starts, but not really holding his own.
It's actually, sorry, Sam, it's Jono actually out. So.
Okay.
He is, but you know what they say about Todd, the fastest alive over the first 35. So he needs to pull one of them out now and do it.
We'll let you get back then, and we're on.
Scott Nichols not having it. Louis goes in blue from the inside for Great Britain. Todd Wiltshire for Aussie goes from gate 2 in white. Gate 3 in red is Scott Nichols for Great Britain. On the outside, Steve Johnson goes for Australia. If Nichols and Louis can pack it in front to produce a 5-1, well, we go to the final heat. Really, really close. I think very importantly. The whole meeting could be decided now. If Britain can't get a 5-1, then go the Aussies' way. Away they go. In red there, Scott Nichols picks it up. He's got on the inside Todd Wiltshire. Can he balk him? In red there, Nichols down the back straight. Work to do for the man in blue, Chris Louis, amazingly at the back. He'll have to pick up the pace. He's got the track knowledge. Can he go wide and pick up the grip? Louis has really got to work. Nichols has done his bit, but the Aussies will try to hold Chris Louis at bay, team riding they need. Will he go through them like a knife through butter? Lap and a half gone. Work for Louis at the back, important.
Yeah, in this situation, really, Scott Nichols should be trying to slow the opposition down, but Chris Louis trying everything he knows at the back, so he's trying to get that second place.
Just over halfway gone. Louis will try and come through if he can do it. There goes one. He's picked off one man. Can he pick off another? The crowd is coming to life. Nichols is way out front. Johnston almost locks up. Here comes Louis. He's there in a second place. It's really come alive now. Can he hold this? Britain will get a 5-1. The tactical substitution is working with a vengeance. Scott Nichols takes the checkered flag in red. Chris Louis has battled through into second place in blue. Third place in yellow. That goes to Steve Johnson. That's a 5-1 to Britain. And well, what a finale we've got at Britain now on 41, Australia 43, going into the final race. And well, tactical substitutions, we've had 3 of them from Neil Middleditch. He's profited in the best possible way. Scott Nichols ran away.
Neil Middleditch, the team manager, is doing a great job here putting these two in so late in the match, and Chris Louis just worked so hard. See Scott Nichols out in front in the red helmet. He looks back for Chris. He sees Chris is at the back. He thinks, I can't really help him a great deal. I've got to go and get the 3 points and leave it to Chris. And Chris just kept plugging away. Scott's looking behind all the time, but really can't do much at all. But Chris Louis, here he is, going round the outside of Todd Wiltshire on the bottom bend there. Just does enough to squeeze through there, gets around the outside of Wiltshire. Johnson's in Wiltshire's way now when they come down to the bottom bend. Chris Louis not giving up, cuts back there, gets the wheels in line. At this point, straight between the two. You see the grip he got there, stands on the back wheel, in for that second place to follow his teammate home. 5-1 for Great Britain, and now we've only got 2 points in it, and it's all going to be down to the last race. We can see that Chris Louis, after he'd gone by, pulled that.
Gate 3, Scott Nichols on his home track at the wild card for the British Grand Prix at the Millennium is Scott Nichols, and on the outside is Jason Crump, a man who's won 3 of his 4 races and yet to be beaten by an opponent here tonight. A grand finale, Australia lead by 43 points to 41. Let's hope the British riders can. We're cheering for the Union Jack. On the inside in red, Chris Louis picks it up. Crump goes across yet again, and he's going to take some catching here. Nichols is in blue. Louis now at the back in red. Through into third place is Lee Adams. This is going the way of the Australians. Waltzing Matilda will be the theme song for Jason Crump if he keeps it here, because at the moment, if it stays like this, it's a 4-2 to the Australians. The Brits will be praying for an engine failure to Jason Crump, because that's just about all that can surely stop him now.
Yeah, Jason Crump certainly hasn't put a wheel wrong tonight. He'll have his maximum if it stays like this, 15 points, and the way he's going, he's just unbelievable, just pulling away from Britain's best here, Tony.
Well, Britain wanted a 4-2, but not this way round. With a lap and a quarter to go, Jason Crump, fast, impressive, skillful, his track craft is there. He's one of the best riders in the world. Are we watching a future world champion down the back straight? Because the Aussies are going to take this test match. Ashes glory belongs to Australia as Jason Crump takes the checkered flag. Ahead of him, blue Scott Nichols. In third place in white there is Lee Adams. 4 points to 2. The Australians take that, which means it's Australia 47, Britain a 43. A great Speedway meeting. The fireworks are going off. The thumbs up from Jason Crump. He shakes hands with Chris Louis. It's been a marvellous battle, played in a marvellous...
Expected to be in the US.